What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Rafer Owens Jr., also known as Junior into his house. I am the pastor of Oasis Church of the Way, and I just want to let you know we love Jesus, we love to have a good time, and that is all we're here for. Love Jesus, love people, love life, and chasing that, I don't think you can go wrong. Also, this cup is empty, but it looks cool. Go Blackwater.
What is Oasis Church of the Way and how did it come to be?
What is Oasis Church of the Way and how it came to be? I will start with how it came to be first and then give you the what it is. So Oasis was born out of prophecy and prayer and fasting. A prophecy came to Jenny and I March 2016, and further prophecies throughout the rest of that year only validated what we had already knew. And so what we started to do was pray and fast the beginning of every month, because we were like, well, if God is going to have us start a church, we should probably be spiritually ready for that. And so we did. We started to pray, we started to fast, and we did not get a lot of vision ourselves in the early stages. Probably, I would say all through 2016, we didn't get much for ourselves as much as we got from other people. And then through 2017, that's when God started pouring into us the ideas, the vision, and what Oasis would look like and what it came to be. And so Oasis is it's a place where I don't know what's first, but where people can find Jesus for real. It's a place of healing. It's a place of love. It's a place of joy, laughter. It's a place of reverence. It is a place where legitimately we are looking to find Jesus every single Sunday, but in our small groups, in each other. That is the ultimate goal and what it looks like and what it should be. Our vision statement is to become a bold body of believers that live as sons and daughters of the King. Because as sons and daughters of the King, there is a boldness that you naturally should live with, because I know who my dad is and I know what that last name carries, and further, I know what that allows me to be because of who my dad is. And so becoming a bold body of believers, that's what we strive for, to put the tools in people's hands, to let them know what the tools are, to let them know how to use the tools, where to get them, when to get them. We want to take away all of the excuses of why I can't do, and give you every opportunity that you can to get to Jesus, no matter what the moment is, day, time, whatever. That is what we are about.
So why did you feel it's necessary to start the church?
I think that's a multi-leveled answer. I think it was necessary. One, since I was 8 years old, I knew that I would pastor. Like 8 years old, it was like, I'm going to preach, I'm gonna pastor, I'm gonna be a husband, and I'm gonna be a dad. And that was the whole dream, you know. But I think the timing was necessary. There were just a lot of different moving pieces in Clovis at the time. And I think, looking back, church needed a fresh voice and a fresh idea. And so, yes, we are all here to make disciples and baptize them in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, but also, what is the method that we're taking to get there? And I think Oasis, at the time and still now, is a method that we have not seen in how we do church and how we, carry a Sunday morning. And so I think, people just needing real, raw, authentic Jesus was probably the biggest push to start Oasis.
I think it kind of ties into it, but I think one thing that a lot of people, I think, notice when first being exposed to Oasis is just the kind of unique name, so like Oasis Church of the Way.
Yeah.
Do you want to kind of explain a little bit about like how the name came from?
Yes. So Oasis Church of the Way is two ideas rolled into one. And honestly, I wanted to put Jesus in the name, and we had like 12 names, and I think it was my mom that was like, well, you don't have to put like Church of Jesus in every name idea, you know? And I was like, well, I want Jesus in the name. And so first, the Oasis came from prophecy. A complete stranger at Heaven Come 2016 in LA turns around and tells me, you are a tree that is being uprooted and that will be planted in the desert, and you will become an oasis in the desert. And literally, Oasis, the church, is now an oasis in the desert, both physically and spiritually. And then the Church of the Way just came from Jesus being the way and us following him. And so it was very simple to say Oasis is who we are, but we are also a church following Jesus. And so that is where we get the name Oasis Church of the Way.
What would you say makes Oasis unique?
There are many things that make Oasis unique. And I think the biggest thing is that we start every service with a meme. And I love it. It's funny. I think it takes off the pressure of church. But I also think Jesus, gave us laughter. And so, hey, take a breath, laugh, and let's get to Jesus. But overall, our church service specifically follows the path of the tabernacle, where we enter the gate with a psalm of thanksgiving. We approach the altar of sacrifice, where we sing about my surrender to Jesus and about Jesus's sacrifice on the cross. And then where most churches stop with a washing of the word or the preaching and service is over, we then spend time going into the holy place where we want to commune with Jesus. We expect to see the gifts and the fruit of the Spirit produced in our services. And every Sunday we are expecting to not just spend time in prayer, but also to feel the manifest presence of God. And so that is our aim every week. Not that we're just coming to have church, but that we are actually getting into the presence of God every week. And I know for us that is our goal, because God is who changes people. The Spirit of God is what gives ideas and meets the needs. And so if we're doing anything outside of trying to get to God, then what is the point of being there on a Sunday morning? So that is what makes us different on a Sunday morning. Overall, I do want to see people growing in their spiritual walk with God. And I think it's probably every week where I say, if you want to come to Oasis and not change, and you want to be the same person that you've always been, don't come to Oasis, because we are going to hold you accountable to changing and growing in Jesus. And now that's not a thing of you need to be better, but no, I need you to belong to this group. I need you to believe in Jesus, and your belief in Jesus is what will naturally change you anyway. And that is what makes us different, because we're not afraid to put that responsibility back on the people who show up every week. It is not just my responsibility to make sure I change and beg you to change, but it is my responsibility to make sure you have all the tools to properly make the change. And that is something that we, again, in becoming this bold body of believers, you have to put that responsibility back in the hands of the people. I've never answered that question out loud.
One little thing that comes up a lot is we talk about like setting the table and kind of our responsibility in that. Can you explain that a little bit?
Yes. So setting the table, the idea came from the book How to Worship a King, which is how we patterned our service anyway. But he makes the point that all Christians are priests. And he says, we are the priesthood of all believers. Well, going back to the job of the priests in the Old Testament tabernacle, it was their job to set up the tabernacle and make sure that everything was ready to go, everything was ready to be used, that they were ready to help other people give or get forgiveness, to offer praise, to offer thanks, to offer a sacrifice for sin. It was their job to make sure that they were prepared for whatever came their way every single day. And so it's the same for us today in the New Testament church, where it is still our job to make sure that the tabernacle is set and ready for everyone to meet Jesus at any given moment. So not just on Sundays, but also when I am at work or, in a coffee shop or wherever I may be, because I know and take ownership of being God's priest, I am ready to set up the tabernacle. I am ready to set the table. I am ready to set the meeting place so God can meet whoever he wants to meet in my life through me.
So would you say your short and long-term visions for Oasis Church?
Short term, and I would probably put short term at maybe 5 years. I would just love to see our core grow. Yes, numerically, but more important than numerically, spiritually. I kind of look at the core that we have now, kind of like the X-Men or like the Avengers, where everybody has their own individual thing, but everybody right now is still in their origin story, And so we are not yet ready to make an Avengers movie, but that is my short-term goal for in the next 5 years, that we make an Avengers movie, because we've gotten everybody's origin stories out of the way, where everyone has come into their own, they've come into who they are with Jesus, their gifts, their talents, and they are not ashamed to use those and be obedient when God says move. The long-term goal is to take back the city of Clovis for Jesus. And wherever that goes from Clovis, that's where it goes. But the long-term legitimately is to not just take back the city as in we just want everybody to be Christians and at Oasis. No, we want to enhance the city of Clovis as the salt of the earth. And so we want to own businesses, and we want to provide jobs. We want to provide entertainment. We want to provide a better quality of life overall in Clovis. And that's on every level, whether it's, buying school supplies for kids, or if it's, handing jobs to people, everything in between. We want to be able to do that and not just enhance people spiritually, but also enhance their lives in the physical.
Bonus question.
Go.
So I think one thing, especially anyone who follows us on Facebook or YouTube or kind of comes to our services, they hear there's just two phrases that they're going to see a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Aside from hashtag jesusistight,
Yeah.
we have love Jesus, love people, love life.
Yes.
And we have Jesus.simply.
Uh-huh.
Can you explain those a little bit?
Yes. Jesus is tight. He is. There you go. Heck yeah. Number 2, love Jesus, love people, love life. That comes from the greatest commandment that Jesus gives. You shall love the Lord your God with your heart, mind, body, soul. And 2, love your neighbor as yourself. And so I love Jesus. I love people. And the love life part is just enjoy it. Don't put so many barriers or so much weight on loving Jesus and loving people. Love life as well. This is fun. This is a good time. And even when things are bad and they're heavy and life happens, changing my mind to love the life that I have and love it until it is the life that I want to love, it changes how I see my love for Jesus and my love for people. And so love Jesus, love people, love life. It just changes my perspective. And lastly, Jesus.simply. Again, Oasis is different, and not for the sake of being different, but because for a long time, we as in the American church, we have put so many barriers to Jesus, unfortunately. And we want to take those away. And we want you to just get to Jesus, which is why we do spend so much time just between you and Jesus. I can't speak for an hour every Sunday and I'm done, and 5 minutes later everybody's leaving. I need you to get to Jesus, and the simplest way to do that is to take away all the barriers. There is no person singing while we're trying to get you to talk to Jesus. It's just you and Jesus. And so stripping away all the things that normally get in the way of church, or in the relationship of Jesus, church being one of them, we want to take away as much of that as possible so that people can simply get to Jesus.